You know, in 40 years on this bench, I have developed a deep respect for law enforcement. I know that police officers have the hardest job in the world. They run toward danger when everyone else runs away. They see things that would break an ordinary person. But because they hold so much power, they must be held to a higher standard. Because when a police officer goes bad, when a man with a badge decides that he is the law instead of a servant of it, that is the most dangerous thing in society. On a rainy Thursday in December, I faced the most dangerous man I have ever met in my courtroom. He wasn't a gang leader. He wasn't a murderer. He was a police captain. His name was Captain Marcus Thorne. He ran the West Side precinct like it was his own private kingdom. He was known as the Hammer. He had the highest arrest record in the city. He had medals on his chest. He was a hero to some. But on this Thursday, he wasn't a hero. He was a defendant. He had dragged a 19-year-old college student named Leo into my court on charges of assaulting an officer and resisting arrest. He wanted the boy locked up for 5 years. Captain Thorne stood before me, chest puffed out, hand resting on his gun belt, and told me that his word was gospel. He told me that if I didn't convict this boy, I was soft on crime. He thought his rank would protect him. He thought the blue wall of silence would hide his sins. But he didn't know that my bailiff had received a package that morning, an anonymous envelope containing the one thing Captain Thorne thought he had destroyed. I have seen men break in my courtroom, but watching a corrupt captain realize his career was over, that was something I will never forget. This captain thought he controlled this city. He thought he could silence the truth just because he carried a badge. But he forgot one thing. In this country, the ultimate authority isn't the police. It is the people. So please, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? Let's fill the comments section to show this man that justice has a home in every city and every town across this nation. It was a gray morning, the kind of day where the sun never really comes up. I was in my chambers, drinking my coffee. My clerk, Christina, walked in. She locked the door behind her. "Judge," she whispered, "Internal Affairs is here." I looked up. IA? Why? "They are watching the Thorne hearing," she said. "They are in the gallery, plain clothes. They told me not to tell anyone." I felt a chill. Captain Thorne was powerful. If IA was involved, this was big. I walked into the courtroom at 9 a.m. The atmosphere was tense. On one side of the room, there were 10 uniformed officers sitting in the front row. They were Thorne's men. They sat with their arms crossed, staring down anyone who looked at them. On the other side sat Leo. He was 19. He was wearing a cheap suit that didn't fit. His face was swollen. His left eye was bruised shut. His arm was in a sling. He was shaking. Sitting next to him was his mother, a small woman who was crying silently into a handkerchief. Then the doors opened. Captain Thorne walked in. He didn't just walk, he occupied the space. He was a big man, 6'4". His uniform was tailored. His badge gleamed under the lights. He walked past his own officers, and they all sat up straighter. He walked to the prosecutor's table, leaned over, and whispered something. The prosecutor looked nervous. "All rise," the bailiff called. I took the bench. I looked at Thorne. He stared right back at me. He didn't blink. "Case number 99 felony," I announced. "State versus Leo Hernandez." The prosecutor stood up. "Your Honor, the state is asking for maximum bail. The defendant is a violent offender. He attacked a decorated police captain. He's a threat to the community." I looked at Leo. He looked like a strong wind could blow him over. "Mr. Hernandez," I said, "you are charged with felony assault on a police officer. How do you plead?" Leo tried to speak, but his voice cracked. He looked at his mother. "Not guilty, Your Honor," his public defender said. "My client maintains he did nothing wrong. He was walking home from the library." Captain Thorne scoffed. It was a loud, disrespectful sound. "The library?" Thorne said, speaking out of turn. "He was scouting cars to break into. I know a perp when I see one." "Captain Thorne," I said calmly, "you are a witness in this case. Please wait until you are called." Thorne looked at me. I am not just a witness, Judge. I am the arresting officer. I am the victim. This animal tried to take my weapon. I looked at the police report. It said that Leo had lunged for the captain's gun during a routine stop. It said the captain had to use necessary force to subdue him. Necessary force, I said, looking at Leo's broken face. Captain, the defendant looks like he was in a car wreck. Did you strike him? I subdued him, Thorne said coldly. He resisted. When you fight the law, you get hurt. That's how it works. I see, I said. And why did you stop him in the first place? The report says suspicious activity. He was walking in a high-crime area at night, Thorne said. He looked nervous. When I approached him, he reached into his pocket. I thought he had a gun. Did he have a gun? I asked. No, Thorne admitted. But he had a phone. He tried to film me. That is provocation, Judge. These kids today, they think a camera gives them the right to interfere with police work. Filming a police officer is a constitutional right, Captain, I reminded him. Thorne slammed his hand on the railing. Not when it endangers my life, he shouted. I am out there every night protecting this city while you sleep in your nice bed. Don't lecture me on rights. I am the law in this city, not you. I determine what is the threat. The courtroom went silent. Thorne's officers in the front row nodded in agreement. I leaned back. My father, Giuseppe, used to tell me, Frank, power reveals a man's character. Give a man a badge, and you will see if he is a protector or a predator. Captain, I said, you claim he attacked you. You claim he went for your gun. That is what happened, Thorne said. My word is my bond. I have 30 years of service. Who are you going to believe? Me or this thug? Leo's mother stood up. He is not a thug, she screamed. He is an honor student. He has a scholarship to Brown University. He's never been in trouble in his life. Sit down, lady, Thorne barked at her, or I'll arrest you for disorderly conduct too. I felt the anger rising in my chest. This wasn't policing. This was bullying. Captain Thorne, I said, my voice dropping an octave, you seem very confident, but there is one thing missing from this file. What? Thorne asked, annoyed. Your body camera footage, I said. The report says your camera malfunctioned during the arrest. Is that correct? Thorne didn't flinch. Equipment failure. It happens. Batteries die. Technology isn't perfect. That is unfortunate, I said. Because without that footage, it is your word against his. And my word is enough, Thorne yelled. I am a captain. My testimony convicts criminals every day. Are you calling me a liar? I am asking for proof, I said. I am the proof, Thorne roared. He pointed a finger at me. You listen to me, old man. I have put more scumbags in jail than you have had hot dinners. You dismiss this case, or I will have your courtroom raided. I will find a reason to investigate you. Do not cross me. The threat hung in the air. He had just threatened a sitting judge in open court. I looked at the back of the room. I saw a man in a trench coat nod at me. It was the IA agent. Captain, I said slowly, you say your camera malfunctioned. You say the file was corrupted. That's right, Thorne said, crossing his arms. Gone forever. That is interesting, I said, because this morning my bailiff found an envelope taped to the courthouse door. It wasn't from you. It was from a rookie officer in your precinct, an officer who has a conscience. Thorne's eyes narrowed. What are you talking about? I opened my desk drawer. I pulled out a USB drive. It seems, I said, that your camera didn't malfunction, Captain. You just deleted the file from the local server, but you forgot that the new cameras, they upload to the cloud automatically. Thorne went pale. He took a step back. That is illegal evidence. You can't use that. Oh, I can, I said, and I will. Bailiff, play the video. Thorne lunged toward the bench. No! I order you to stop. Sit down, I shouted. My voice boomed like thunder. Or I will have you shackled. Thorne froze. He sat down slowly, his eyes wild. The screens in the courtroom flickered to life. The video started. It was dark. You could see Leo walking down the street, minding his own business. He was carrying a book bag. Thorne's cruiser pulled up. Thorne jumped out. Hey, you, get on the ground, Thorne screamed in the video. What did I do? Leo asked, terrified. I'm just walking home. I said, get on the ground. Thorne grabbed Leo. He threw him against the car. Leo didn't fight back. He didn't reach for a gun. He held his hands up. Please, officer. I didn't do anything, Leo cried. Shut up, Thorne yelled. And then, on the video we saw it, Thorne punched the boy in the face. Once, twice, Leo fell to the ground. Thorne stood over him. He kicked him. Stop resisting! Thorne screamed for the camera, even though Leo was curled in a ball, crying. Then, the most damning part, Thorne reached into his own pocket. He pulled out a small baggie of white powder. He dropped it next to Leo's head. Look what we found, Thorne whispered, laughing. Possession with intent to distribute. Bye-bye, college. Then Thorne reached up and turned the camera off. The screen went black. The courtroom was silent. The silence of absolute horror. Leo's mother was sobbing. The officers in the front row, Thorne's own men, were looking at the floor. They were ashamed. I looked at Captain Thorne. He was shaking. The arrogance was gone. He looked like a cornered rat. It's a deep fake, he stammered. AI. It's a setup. It is time-stamped, I said. It is verified. And it is over. You can't do this to me, Thorne screamed. I am the captain. I run this city. I protect you people. You don't protect us, I said. You prey on us. I looked to the back of the room. Agent Miller, I called out. The man in the trench coat stood up. He walked down the aisle. He pulled out a badge. FBI. Captain Marcus Thorne. The agent said, I am placing you under arrest for federal civil rights violations, perjury, manufacturing evidence, and assault. Thorne looked at his men. Help me! Don't let them do this. His officers didn't move. They didn't look at him. The blue wall of silence had crumbled. Inspector Quinn and the FBI agent moved in. They grabbed Thorne's arms. Get your hands off me, Thorne shrieked. I am a hero. I have medals. You are a disgrace, I said. They handcuffed him. They took his gun. They took his badge and placed it on my desk. Leo Hernandez, I said, all charges against you are dismissed with prejudice, and I am ordering the city to pay for your medical bills and your tuition. Leo looked up through his swollen eye. Thank you, Judge. As they dragged Thorne out, he was still screaming. I am the law. You will regret this. No, Captain, I said. The law is what just put you in handcuffs. The doors closed. The courtroom was quiet. I looked at the badge sitting on my desk. It was heavy. It meant something. And Marcus Thorne had betrayed it. 6 months later, I received a letter. It was from Leo. He was at Brown University. He was studying pre-law. He sent a picture of himself in the library. His face had healed. He looked happy. He wrote, Judge, I was afraid of the law. I thought it was just a weapon for powerful men. But you showed me that the law can also be a shield. I want to be a judge one day. I want to be like you. I pinned that picture to my wall. You see, a badge doesn't make you a good man. A robe doesn't make you a good man. Your actions do. Captain Thorne walked in thinking he was the law. He left realizing no one is above it. And that is why I love this job. Thanks for listening, and God bless.